Now we're going to look at how to solve the problem where it gets to this point in the program, the end here, and it says the accounts have different balances even though they both have $250 in them. So what happens is there's several different ways to compare things. We could have also tried if account 1 double equals account 2. And this isn't going to work either. What this does by default is it compares the object references. So you remember when we didn't have the toString method, by default both double equal sign and dot equals will compare and say, is this thing the same thing as this thing? And obviously they're not the same because this number is different from this number because the objects are stored at two different places in memory. So we don't want that default behavior. Instead, for the purposes of this example, we would like two bank account objects to be considered equal if they have the same account balance. So to do that, I go up to the source menu at the top of Eclipse, and I go to this thing that says generate hash code and equals. And then I click, right now there's only one thing, but if there were more than one field in this class, I would click on the things that have to be the same in order for two instances of this class to be considered equal. So right now it's just the balance. So I'm going to click on OK, and then Eclipse made this new code for me by itself, the hash code and the dot equals, and the equals method. And what these do, these are used internally behind the scenes by Java in certain cases to figure out if two things are equal. So now, when I run this, it's calling account1 dot equals account2. This method is actually what's being called. And what this method is saying is that, okay, if the other object that I'm comparing it to, which in this case is account2, if it's the same exact thing as this one, then they're equal. If the second thing is null, then they're obviously not equal. If they have the same type, so if they're both bank accounts, then they might be equal. If they don't have the same type, they're not equal. Okay, so by the time we get here, we know that they're both bank account objects. And so it's at this point that we can say, all right, if the balance of this bank account is equal to the balance of the other one that got passed in, then we're going to, if they're not equal, we're going to return false, and then finally we'll return true if we make it this far. So now when we run this code, we see that we get the accounts have the same balance. So the reason that I brought this up in this first topic is because this dot equals method, the hash code method, and the toString method are used a lot with different data structures in Java. And this class focuses a great deal on data structures and algorithms. So you need to make sure when you write a class that you create the equals hash code and toString methods in such a way that they make sense for the class you're writing. All right, that's it.